Hey, we are live with Terra Invicta, and we did not do a false start episode where I had to go deal with my child who had pooped all over the ground and my other child who was crawling in said poop.
Okay, and the stuff we were talking about was not good enough for this.
That's a funny story for the and again, that'll be bonus feature content if you want to know what they were talking about.
Go to patreon.com/Caleb.
There you go. Yeah,
this exclusive bonus content.
Yes, we're here with Terra Invicta. This is episode 72. I just realized, guys, this is the amount of episodes that we did for Terra Nullius. 72 is where we ended.
What? Wow.
So we have to actually
this one has to be good then.
It has to be good.
I was gonna say we can't do this episode because we can't overtake it, so it's over.
This sounds wrong to me. I don't know why, but it just
it's
feels
100% correct. 72 episodes.
That's wild.
Yep. And so this campaign is going to turn out to be probably much longer than
don't
Terra
say.
Nullius. And I honestly think one of the reasons is we were doing like we had way less control over the leveling in Terra Nullius, right? We were just we were either doing it like straight up XP and like treasure, or we were doing like a goal thing. Yeah. And so like we just kept plowing through the levels really quickly, whereas Terra Invicta, really early on, we noticed that the same thing was happening, and I looked at the campaign and was like, this pace is not going to work, and so we just went to milestone, and so ever since then we've just been going really slowly through leveling. So,
and plus we were a lot more consistent at playing with Terra Nullius than we were Invicta.
I will have to double check now that this will be the 72nd episode. I'll double check what the full hour count is for each campaign, 72 episodes worth, and see how that shakes out.
We did used to play a lot longer. That's right.
That's what right. Say. I think that's definitely a factor. I do think that at this point we have played more hours of Terra Invicta, though. I think just in general, I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Speaking of factors, this episode is sponsored by. No. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, no, you're probably
actually no. Well, no, because
that wouldn't be correct.
We played a couple 10-hour episodes with Terra.
No, you're right.
Nullius,
yeah. So. Well, I guess what I'm going to say. I guess what I'm saying is by the end we'll definitely have overtaken it by quite a bit in hours. But yeah. Well, I'm very curious to see what the numbers shake out on that. Anyway, so we're going to do a little bit of a shorter session tonight. I think about 2 hours or so, and we will have some combos. And hey, if you guys want to go into the dungeon, feel free. I have pretty much everything prepped, I just don't have the maps officially laid out for the second and third floors. I know everything that's on it, and I have the backup map, right? So if you really do want to go there, I have a not so nice looking map that we can go to that will still function perfectly fine. So hit me, do whatever you need to do.
Speed run.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's leave the Isle of Dread.
All right. Well,
let's go get Delhi.
Yay!
Yeah.
Let's go to Germany.
Sure. This is Earth,
that is a place we could go to.
That is a place you could go to, yeah. So let's take a look at this map here. I think I've decided that Gitz Camp is here. It's kind of right on the edge of the old ruins of the city that this island is in the center of. And you guys wouldn't know this until you got your bearings and figured out where Git had set everything up. But this is where the lizard folk camp is. That you're there. So I wanted to give you guys an opportunity, if you would like to go back there and ask them for aid or whatever you want to follow up with them about before you guys head into the dungeon. But we'll zoom back in on Git's camp, and we can get all sorts of fun conversations with NPCs. Let me double check my notes here briefly. I have a couple of things written down that I know will happen conversation wise, but I want to make sure that you guys are getting in any conversations that you want to do. I have something with Ronan, something with Surge, and something with Tanakh that I know Takewee wanted to talk with Tanakh about, like what happened with Zolan, that Yuan-Ti they captured.
Just wanted an update. Yeah.
Yep. There's a thing there. Yes, Audrey, you're drawing something.
Does anybody else see the dog?
What angle are you looking at? I guess, is this the head right here? That right there is the head?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw it. Yeah. I don't know what this little knobby thing is, but...
It's his paw, his little paw. He's crouching.
Yeah, but I thought, aren't these... Like, it looks like he's leaping forward. So he just has like
a
3
wide
legs.
back leg stance.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the wide back leg
so
stance.
far away
That's
that
what it
it's
is.
that small in perspective.
Yeah.
That's all.
There you go. Cool. So any other conversations you guys want to have? Just so we can, sequence
I
all of
wanted
these
to
properly?
have a conversation with Audrin.
Yes, after your outburst.
Yeah.
I think first thing that I want to do, so we'll just start with this, and then I can ask, like, what do we want to do next, and we can go from there. First thing I think happens is that you guys are settling in, and Ronan and Tanakh have shown up and are, everybody's briefing each other on like what happened and all that stuff. And then you're figuring out like what's the next plan, strategizing and whatnot. Ronan brings up at one point, so did anyone happen to find any Ram figurines? It should be a set of 3, I believe, a magic item. I've been looking for it forever, and I had word that it was in the Taboo Temple there. Anyone happen to see that? I told you guys to look out for it.
Did he?
He did, yeah.
Did we?
Well,
Whether or not Vren paid attention is totally up to you, but...
because I legitimately don't remember if he actually... Did he tell us what they did?
No, he just was like, if you see any Ram figurines, I want those.
He did tell us that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but
Would Ren want to give these up? Because
I want to give you an opportunity to lie,
Did Ren... Okay. Ren
I mean,
would say... okay, so he asked for the Ram figures. He would ask, what exactly did they look like, and what did they do again? I can't remember.
Real quick, as a note, just so everybody's on the same page, there were Ram figurines there, but no one suspected that there was anything in particular special about them, except for that they were part of the ritual, except for Vren, who hid that part from everybody else. He wasn't the only one. I think he was the only person in the room conscious when he took or at the very least,
I was literally the only person in the room.
Yeah.
Because I came out first, I was like, oh, cool, I took them.
Yeah.
I honestly, as a player, I had forgotten that he had mentioned those.
Vren would be the person to just like be able to tell him exactly what he's looking for. Like we all as players know now, like that's what he was looking for. But yeah, Anna, if you would have wanted to bring up like, yeah, well, there was Ram figurines, but there was nothing. But Vren, you said basically like, what do they look like again? Like,
No, like what did they do exactly? Like,
yeah, he says, they're part of a set. You see, I'm trying to collect. Every single wondrous figurine of wondrous power, all these little animal statues. I have a theory that if we put them all together, they can do something special. At the very least, I'll have an army of animals.
You know what? That is enough to pique Vren's curiosity. Would he give them all though?
Well, so they come as a set, right? Like they're
okay.
The ones you found. They're all the other ones were non-magical. Except for being part of the ritual, except for these 3, and they are one object in the rules, right? Like they function as one thing.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I did. Venom would be like, actually, wait, do I? I'm trying to remember if I have. I'm pretty sure I have a bag of holding. I can't remember.
I think
I have a bag of holding. Okay, I just
Plot
want to double check.
twist,
He'll
as
reach in
soon
his
as you
bag.
give him. The plot twist is as soon as you give them to him, it turns out this guy's the big bad, and here we are, end of the campaign.
he just immediately attacks you. Yeah.
I
will say that I did ask Jared a couple of questions about these characters today that colored how I'm going to be playing them in the future. I'll say that much.
Were they small, like you could fit in one hand, or were they like all in one hand?
I would say each of them. I think each of them is smaller than the other. There's 3 of them, kind of like Russian doll style. I don't know if they go into each other, but they're that kind of size differential. And I would say the biggest one is probably I don't know, like from my eye to my nose, like that long.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
So I can fit all 3 of them on my hand then.
I think so. Yeah.
For the just pure curiosity of Vren, because he's like I could keep these to myself and have some fun, but if something crazier is going to happen, that sounds cool. And Seth also thinks that's cool.
Yeah.
So Vern like, I think I may have found them. And it reaches his hand, he'll pull them out. And he's about to hand him like, what kind of thing do you suspect might happen if you bring them all together? He says he's like toys with them in his hand.
Yeah, to be fair, I have a feeling that Jared knows what, because this is his character that he's been like. I'll go ahead and shoot him a message real quick. I hope Ronan will probably be vague though until I can get confirmation one way or the other. Why was Ronan wanting to get all the animal figurines together? What did he think would happen? Yeah, but in the meantime, I think Ronan says, magic items often, well, they have history. They have reasons why they were made. And I theorize,
believe me, I know.
Yeah, I theorize that all of these figurines of wondrous power were made at one point by one man, or woman. You know, I don't actually know the particulars, but or amorphous blob thing that can use magic, whatever. But magic items that come in a set like these, well, I just feel like there has to be more. You know, there must be some reason why these were all made all at once, and my studies have shown me that is the case.
Would Vren know enough to think like, yeah, this is reasonable?
Sure. Yeah. I think you can. Do you want to make a? I think I have a feeling that he's holding something back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like to make an insight check against him, you certainly can.
No, I didn't roll very well.
Very good.
I don't know if he's holding anything back. Vren would just say, I agree. I only ask that when it happens, he holds his hand up, you let me know.
Yeah,
I'd like to be there for it personally.
Mm-hmm. Wow, he failed miserably. He got a 5.
Oh, actually. Would I know then if that?
Yeah, he's holding. He might be holding something back. I want to leave the possibility open that is the whole answer. If Jared just gets back to me like, yeah, I don't know, that thing would be cool.
Actually, because I didn't grab any extras of them, so he wouldn't know one of them's not the real one. I didn't think of doing that. And they're goats, right? Okay, well, Vern will hand him just because he's like he's like, I want to see this. This sounds fun.
Yeah.
Especially if it's chaotic.
Yep. And since you're like interested in it, I think he would like take a look at let's see, I'm double checking what other ones he has. So he kind of lays out like his little like rolled up like bit of cloth that has all of them in it, right? He kind of rolls it out and we see a silver raven, a obsidian steed, which you guys knew about before, I think. At least as players you did. And then I think right now Damien is holding the bronze griffin. Bronze griffin figurine of wondrous power. Let me double check Henry and Tanakh to see if he gave, because like Jared had like a bajillion magic items and had forgotten or never knew of the attunement rule, so he's like giving away a bunch of the items to other people so they could actually be used. I don't see anything that Henry has, and I don't think Tanakh has any either. Yeah, so there's a raven, a steed, like an obsidian steed horse, and a griffin.
Actually, what might happen is Vern might take the smallest one, and he might be handing the big one, and he'll look at the smallest one. It's like, you don't mind, I'll hold on to this one for now, just to make sure I get to see whatever it is that happens at the end. He's like
make a persuasion check.
Oh, he really want.
That's probably gonna rub him the wrong way.
He's just like, I'm not gonna give it to you. I just really want to see what happens, and if I don't give you this one, then I get to see what happens. I rolled a 9. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I think he gives you like a weary eyebrow raise. He just says, "Really, Vren, are we going to play this game? I'll show you what it does when it." Yeah,
they're just popping it like, fine. Like a little leverage.
Yeah.
Apparently, all I have is broken sticks.
I think he looks over at Audra and he says, Besides, I could just tell you I could just tell him to tell you to give it to me. But I won't do that because I'm a friend.
Wait, does he know that? I don't think does he know about that actually? Does he know about the contract?
I feel like you're open enough about it. Like, I don't remember Vren ever being coy with that information.
Well, he just never really talked about it since he originally came, is the thing. Audrin might have told him.
I feel like Audrin is usually pretty open with that too. Up to you, I guess. Like, I guess it's possible that it never came up.
I mean, would the conversation have happened with him about him taking Audrin, like, why do you keep him around? He seems to enjoy the suffering of you and your party.
Yeah.
It's not
Ronan, at Audrin, if Ronan had asked you about it, would you have told him?
If Rhett, I don't know.
That's fine. I can just have him not say that.
I feel like he would probably defer to Vren and just say, "Ask him about it, man."
Yeah. Would Vren have said anything?
Well, if he said ask Vren, that's technically falls under the contract.
Well, he didn't tell you to answer Ronan, but
Vren doesn't know exactly how it was necessarily worded, and he's probably like, I don't want to deal with this right now.
I think I'll just renege what he said, and just he's basically just saying, like, I'm doing that, like, let's be civil here, like, I am going to follow my word, like, I'm not being coy. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, well, there we go. Good job, Vren. You didn't try to hide that. You also just gave Jared another tool, but which is always terrifying. But
I want to see what happens because if it's cool, awesome. If it's awful, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, fair enough. As long as you're not in the blast radius.
See, if Vren's not in the blast radius, he doesn't care what happens.
Cool.
Like fireworks.
Yeah. So obviously we can have that conversation between Takui and Audrin, or we can have Tunok can talk to Takui. Emily, did you have anything that does Anna need to talk to anybody in the camp?
I don't think so.
Cool. Well, if you do think of something, feel free to bring it up. Alyssa, who do you want to talk to first, Tunok or Audrin?
Doesn't matter to me.
Audrin? Takui walks up to you.
So Takui's obviously like super like embarrassed as she like kind of approaches you. I think like her head is like down and whatnot, and she like tries to like reach for your hand. Like, I don't know, do you like let her do that?
Number one, yes, Audrin does. Number two, I need to roll insight because Audrin is so insightful to see if he even understands what's going on, if he's picking up the cues.
I don't think it's that hard to figure out. But
yes, but
she's not trying to like deceive you or anything. She's just
I mean, we've rolled this before when you're not necessarily trying to deceive. It's just kind of like to pick up like how much are you subconsciously trying to hide and all that jazz. I think it's fine to roll if we're.
Well, part of it is it's more like Audrin's just not very insightful.
That's also
other
true.
people's emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. But I mean, Takui's literally about to, be like, "Hi."
Yeah. I mean, if you're just gonna say it, then we don't need to roll.
Yeah. Audrin goes, "Hey."
So listen, that is not the way I wanted to tell you that I love you.
That is not the way I expected you to phrase that. This is player Jordan saying that out of context, out of character, not out of context. I think Audrey responds with, well, I'm happy to tell you I love you in any way necessary.
I love you too. I just feel bad that that's the way that you actually remembered me telling you. Audrey, I've been secretly telling you I love you for a few weeks now. But I've been making you forget each time because I was too scared that you wouldn't feel the same way. And this is an actual thing, okay? I've been taking away gold to use the spell slot, gift of gift to use the spell slot.
Wow.
I knew you were doing something a long time ago. I had forgotten about it.
Gift of gab. Yeah.
But Audra nods. And he goes, do you really think that I wouldn't have pursued, or do you really think that I would have pursued you the way that I have? Do you think I would have attempted to pursue you if I didn't love you in the first place?
I don't know. I've never had anybody pursue me before, so not out of love, at least.
Well, I think it's time you deserve a change.
Well, same.
I want to do an Arcana check.
Okay.
I want to know
Okay.
if I know that what she did.
I mean, I think she just told you, but
Did she say that she has been using Gift of Gab specifically?
I mean, no, I guess not. But yeah, you can. So yeah, you can roll it if you just don't want to ask.
Oh, okay. So, well, no. Here's what.
Yeah, you through the 25, you understand the ability, right?
Okay, so Audrey goes, so how much gold have you spent on this?
More than I want to admit.
Take we. Do you even know?
I actually
Alyssa has to
forgot.
go.
I do know, but hold on. I have been keeping track of it. Hold on. Because I it's like 2 gold per time I use it, I think. 5 times. So
Only 5?
10 gold.
It's less than I thought.
Sometimes
I just say it when you're sleeping, so I don't have to use the gold.
Audrey goes, Audrey takes his other hand and like glances down at their hands and says, when we get back into some sort of stable civilization where I can go to some sort of jewelry store, I want to get you something worth 100 gold.
Okay.
I want you to know that no matter what, I will always love you at least 10 times as much than you expect.
Oh. She just like hugs you. Like just yeah.
Audrey reciprocates.
I mean, yeah, I just don't know what came over me. Like this weird curse just like overcame me and I just became so obsessive. I mean, maybe it was the curse or maybe it's the fact that the woman playing me is pregnant. I don't know.
Alyssa!
Congratulations!
Congrats!
Oh my
Wow,
gosh!
what a way to announce that.
I looked up and I
Holy
saw.
crap. Oh, that's so exciting.
Oh my God!
Congrats, Alyssa.
I'm like, the way that wait, Takely's pregnant. Alyssa's pregnant.
Dang. That was good.
gosh.
That was
Thank you,
good,
thank
Alyssa.
you.
I'm trying to debate if this is better than the last time, though.
You know what? It doesn't have to be any better because this is a new child, and we will love him
It is better because this time it was a surprise.
Oh,
And
for
we all got to hear it
you.
together,
Well,
which was fun.
Yeah.
that's
Well,
right.
no, but last time we got to hug her in person.
That's true.
Fair enough. Pros and cons. Pros and cons.
Well, congratulations, and
Thank you.
that's very exciting. I know that you've had some ups and downs the past year.
We're very excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does mean one chapter closes. We can't adopt anymore, but it's okay. We've grieved it through and we're okay with it. So
Sweet.
it's all good. So,
I
yep. But I had to tell you guys, you can't clip this though in for another 2 weeks because I still haven't
All
told
right.
my dad.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Well, it'll be the clip, just not yet.
Turns out your
It will
dad
definitely
logged
be
into-
clipped. I'll just wait to post it. Yeah.
Turns
That
out
was a
your
great
dad
moment.
logged into stream right as you said that.
None of my family watches this. It's really fine.
Yeah. But I mean, can you imagine how many views I'm going to get on that video if I tag it right? Like, it's definitely
Player announces pregnancy.
player announces
on
pregnancy
stream.
during D&D game. Like that would be amazing. That's going to get some clicks.
Oh, that's so fun.
So yeah. Basically,
Okay,
it's just
Caleb?
everything she was saying it was true up until the point where
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started talking about the
Crossed
obsession.
over. Yeah.
So it crossed over into reality.
Until
I was so
until you-
nervous.
until
I was
you
like,
had
oh
your-
my gosh.
Until you had your Deadpool moment.
When I
Until-
broke the
until
fourth
we had
wall.
her- yeah.
There it is. There's that little heartbeat like right there.
Love it.
So excited. I pray it's a girl. Please, Jesus, make it a girl. Please. I'll be happy either way, but I really want a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We can move on now. Okay.
I just don't know how you go back to playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I don't even remember
I
what
think
we
it's a
left
short
off on.
session.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well,
I
you're
think
saying you weren't
I was
sure if
hap-
it was. You weren't sure if it was the spell or anything that made you say it.
it was just part of the bit.
I wasn't sure.
I was like, we can
So
cut it
basically,
after
the conversation is basically over. You just needed to keep it
Right.
going for that. Yeah. yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
Totally fine. Cool. Yeah. So Tanakh can come up to you at that point. And maybe it's probably Takewee going to Tanakh to ask. And not that you would be like super pushy about it, Takewee, but like I assume
No.
you ask at some point, right?
Yeah, just curious.
Yeah.
Be like, I don't see our friend here. What happened to him?
Yeah, and Tanakh's face grows slightly sad / dark / just generally like, ooh, that didn't go well, sort of a vibe, right?
He's pregnant.
No, he says we had to kill him. He did not repent. And I'd like you to make an insight check, Takewee.
Why is
He's
he
like-
deceiving me?
He's deceiving you in a sense.
And Takewee's like, and I didn't get to do it.
Gonna make an insight check.
How is this a very private conversation?
Not
necessarily, but-
super private, but I think I was assuming that no one was like immediately around.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Wow. Okay. 15 is your DC, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, but I don't have great insight. I only have a +4, so
Well, you only had a +5, so
You really
Okay.
know he's full of it.
yeah. Takewee, and again, he's not lying to you. He was killed. But he's playing it up in a way that is a lie. It wasn't like a okay. So the parts that are true, he was killed. He did not repent. Those are both true statements. But he's leaving something out of it, something about how it went down. He's trying to like just move past that and just be like, it didn't work. The end. And you can tell there's an ellipses in there. There's a ... that is. There's so much hidden in that state and whatever that pause that he made or whatever it was, right, that you're picking up on, that he is not spilling at all, but you're like cued onto it immediately.
okay. I think Takewee will just kind of like nod and say, "Well, I'm really sorry.
He just nods.
I know that you really wanted to try it. We've only been gone a day, though. I'm surprised you gave up after just 1 day, 2 days. That seems surprising to me.
What's this
He
guy's name again?
Zolan was the guy who
Zolan. Okay.
captured. Yeah. He says, there was only ever a sliver of a hope. He was very far down. He was far gone into Demogorgon's embrace, and there was
I know,
little we
but
could do.
You just seemed so sure last time, so
I was sure
So
that I
now-
wanted to give him a chance.
I want to trust you. But there's something you're leaving out. What aren't you telling me?
The manner in which Ronan and I went about solving the issue of Zolan was rather distasteful, and I would rather not speak of it more.
Oh, I see. So it's like he's like ashamed of like how it happened. or-
Something like that. Yeah, you're not sure yet. You can keep prodding if you'd like.
I don't know. I don't know if I do want to be honest. I feel like Takewe's like, I think that's enough for her.
Yeah.
Because, I think she's just going to nod and just say, okay.
Mhm.
I think if I were in your position, I probably wouldn't want to talk about it much either. So, if you change your mind, let me know.
Yeah, he nods and he says, Tikwi, I know that you have a preconception about my people and our beliefs, but I would hope that by now it has become clear that there are those among us who do not follow the old ways.
I think it's clear that you don't follow the old ways in some aspects. But I guess I'm still confused where the old lie with the new.
He seems to think about that for a moment, and I think he says, well, is any religion truly 100% wrong? There are aspects in every faith that lie in some innate truth that all of us understand instinctively. The very fact that we want to worship is indication that there is something to be worshipped, something that we must follow, and that in and of itself is not a lie. So there are bound to be ways in which the Reformed faith and the old ways of the Yuan-Ti are similar.
Right, but that still doesn't answer my question. You're still reading old texts about a woman who wanted to quite literally destroy the earth. And you know
Yes.
that.
Yes, she of the jade skirt was fallible.
She was evil.
Certainly towards the end, she was. But
You're
no
right.
one...
She was not always evil. I will give you that.
Exactly.
In fact, she
And-
was donned as a hero for a very long time.
Indeed. And that woman is who I follow. The one that died. The one that used to follow the truth. And I think somewhere along the way she failed, but she made us. And so we are indebted to her as a mother, at the very least. I understand that there are many people who do not have good relationships with their mothers, but there's still an honor we are bound by. We must honor our father and our mother, no matter how despicable they may be. There is a sense in which we must revere them.
I see. I think I understand a little bit more. You revere who she was, not who she became. In some
Yes.
ways.
She nods.
And I think I can respect that.
Jakewee, would you like to know more about the ways of my people, the ways of the reformed Yuan-Ti? Maybe it will clear up a few things for you.
I think I would like to hear it, yeah. I think I'm ready to hear it.
Very good. The crux of the Reformed teachings is that instead of consuming others to get our power, the Yuan-Ti must focus on internal power, bettering ourselves. The latter, the ascendancy, is good in a conceptual sort of way, but it has been taken to a gruesome extreme. instead of forcing others to become UNT, now that we cannot bear live children. And there's with that 24 insight, you can tell that there's something there that there's something there that he's thinking about and then decides not to say for a moment as well, which you could bring up. And then, but if you say nothing, he says, we seek to convert willing participants to continue our race. They are brought into our communion, and a sacred rite is performed to bring them into the fold, give them the abilities and the countenance of a UNT. I hope that one day we will be able to heal what is broken in us and bring back children as they once were in our race. But as of right now, the best we can do is offer a new way for those who have lost theirs. A family to belong to if they do not have one. And there are many UNT who still despise us and our ways, but we have managed to reach out to them as well. So, there's a if that was come out from the wrong angle, it would seem like a terrible, horrible, gruesome thing, right? Like you're transforming people into UNT with a dark ritual. But at least the way that he's trying to present it to you, it seems more benign than that. Whether or not you would like to believe him, that's up to you.
I don't think it's that Takui doesn't believe him, especially with the insight, and whatnot, and just based on his actions and how he's behaved. I don't think that that's the conclusion Takui would come to. I still think she believes he is heavily misguided, that this should not still be something that, because clearly, I think Takui still has this slight bias that but when you become UNT, you're forever going to be walking this balance of wanting more power.
Yeah.
And how do you get that? Easier and quicker. People will always choose the easier, quicker way, I think, most of the time. Maybe not you. I think that maybe you are able
but you're
to
introducing them to a temptation that they would not otherwise have to deal with. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's probably Takui's perspective on this is I think that what you are setting out to do is maybe even noble or respectable. and I get why you're doing it, but I still don't think it's right.
Yeah. And obviously you know about the UNT not being able to have children. That's a thing that is about in the culture.
I feel like what I'm gathering from what he's saying is that he's trying to figure out a way for that to happen. Yeah. Right. I think that's pretty obvious. I think my only other question for him as of right now is, so when did you do the ritual?
Yeah. Perfect question, because I think what he says is, yes. Well, you see, I'm an interesting case, Takui. When I say that UNT do not give birth to children, what I mean to say is that 1 in a million eggs hatch. So it is very, very unlikely. And yet I was the one. The 1 in a million. The one who was given a chance. And I feel like I am bound to live up to that chance that I was given. That duty that was foisted upon me. To give others the chance to live a life similar to mine.
I see. I'm honestly trying to think, because obviously, like I said, I as a player, right, I just shared all my thoughts. I don't know if Takui's going to share all those necessarily, though. At least not right now, but Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, unless he has like questions for her, I think she just like nods and listens and just says, "Well, you've given me a lot to think about."
I would hope so.
If this thing has taught me anything, it's that I certainly think I can trust you, at the very least.
I'm glad for that, Tikwi. For it seems, and he kind of like looks off to the horizon, that we will be fighting side by side before too long.
I feel like our old god would be rolling in his grave if he knew that. But
Mine as well.
hey, they were brothers and sisters, so maybe it wouldn't be such a terrible thought.
Yeah, and I think he lets it end there. The one other thing I wanted to get here before we move on is Surge comes over to you, Audrin. And what I did is I asked ChatGPT to write me questions that a robot would ask to figure out if I am sapient. And I'm gonna every once in a while we're gonna have I'm gonna have Surge ask you one of these questions as he tries to decipher if he's a person or not.
I simultaneously love this and hate this.
I'm with you on that, Jordan. I'm with you.
So I thought that would be a fun way to do it. So he comes over to you. What are you doing when he asks you this first question?
Crying. No.
As he knows what is about to occur.
Oh, he's walking towards me again. I'm not ready to be a father. Oh no. Oh man, the timing of everything in this session. And okay. Anyway, I think Audrin is probably I'm trying to think of like what Audrin would. I think Audrin is trying to like he's tinkering and he's trying to figure out more of the inner essence stuff and seeing if he can play with like the magical essence and magic items in special ways.
Sure. Do you want to make an Arcana check to see how that's been going?
Yeah, sure.
So you're trying to pour your chi into an item?
Oh, it's not that I'm trying to pour my chi into it. I'm honestly, so here's kind of what I'm working towards. I'm trying to work towards being able to like grab the magical essence in something else and manipulate it.
Okay. Yeah, this kind of gets towards something that I've been wanting to do for a little while now. So in this campaign, in Terra Nullius, we had a lot of magic items with like a lot of history to them. Pretty much everything we found was like part of this like grand history of the Tlaloc people and stuff. This campaign, we've had a lot more items that seem new and don't have as much history to them because of magic items becoming more popular and common in the world. I'm interested in, by the end of the campaign, having each of your magic items be imprinted with your personalities and like in a similar way to the items that Terra Nullius had, have little quirks and things to them based on how you've been using them. So I would love if this is part of that. Which magic item of yours would you like to try to imprint a little bit more here?
My first inclination was the first one that I saw, which was the immovable rod. But then I thought it might be fun to do something with the deck of illusions.
Okay. Yeah.
So probably the deck of illusions.
Yeah. What are you actually attempting to do? Like if Audrin is trying to put it into words, what is he doing?
So Audrin at this point in time, so Audrin also has playing cards. Audrin at this point in time is trying to figure out how magic in items works, because he's an alchemist, right? He's able to do this in a very basic way.
Yeah.
But what if he could take the magic in one magic item and put it in a different item? Or what if he could take the magic in a magic item and put it in a different magic item?
I just got that Patrick meme. What if we take the magic over here and put it over here?
Set it to Wumbo.
Or maybe like if I could like split the magic in a magic item and put some of it in here, leave some of it in there. Like he just wants to see if there's a way to like take the sticker off and play with the sticker.
So basically, you're trying to take the magic of the deck of illusions and put it into the normal playing cards. That's what I'm hearing, right?
I want to see if I can
Or switch them.
if I can touch it, and if I can touch it, can I, is it possible that I can find a way to turn the deck of illusions into a deck of summoning? Can I turn this into a Yu-Gi-Oh deck? Or
yeah, or the illusions actually fight for you or whatever.
yeah, or is there a chance that I can like deck of familiars kind of thing? Or is there a way that I can like
gotta make it into a deck of many things, obviously.
that was like a thought. I'm like, I hope this doesn't become a deck of
That's
many
if you
things.
roll a critical failure or a critical success,
Yeah. Or can I like
But then M's gonna be jealous that she doesn't have the deck of many things.
I mean, I'm sure Audrey would give her a card.
that? No.
Look, just because I'm not in possession of it doesn't mean I can't pull cards from it.
That is true. And I'm pretty sure she said she wants to draw 3.
So Audrin is basically trying to see what are things that he can tamper with in magic items. Can he change the properties? Can he crank it to 11? Can he crank it down to -11? Can he move stuff around?
Sure.
So he's just
you have
trying a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you have a magical MacGuffin, so you're certainly able to attempt this. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check for us, and let's see how that's been going.
Arcana.
27 is pretty good. I guess it's perfectly average for you. You got like a 13. 27. Yeah, I mean, I think you can certainly feel it, right? Like you reach out with your chi, and like you feel like you can grab it. But it's kind of like you can feel that there's little, like if this is like a piece of metal in a mechanism of some sort, you're trying to pick lock it, right? Like to use thieving, burglary kind of analogies here, right? Like as Audrin, that type of character Audrin is. You're trying to fiddle with the lock here, and there's a mechanism that you can feel, you can touch, but you can't quite maneuver the instruments to be able to pop it out or manipulate it in any way. And you feel like there is an extra, like you need like an extra limb or dexterity that you do not currently possess to manipulate your digits to get that angle quite right. But you can certainly feel it, right? You can touch it, you can feel it, you can prod it. You just can't poke. You can't really do anything with it yet.
This sounds like a job for mage hand, sleight of hand.
Well, it's not, again, proverbially in your mind.
So I need a proverbial mage hand, sleight of hand.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that was the Arcana check you just made.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the beginning of like Audrin fiddling with it, and maybe we can try again in the future. Cool. But remind me about that history thing. I think after this arc, I would like to ask all you some questions, and we can dig into like how you guys have been using your magic items, and maybe give them a quirk or two based on that. I think it'll be fun. Cool. So Serge comes over to you, and he says, "Catalyst, Audrin." Kind of like scratches his metal head. Do I have a free will? When I decide things such as, I will pick up this flower now, and he like reaches down and, did I do that because I wanted to? Or did I do that because you wanted me to?
I was actually kind of hoping you wouldn't pick up that flower because I thought it was pretty. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, easy decision, right?
Yeah.
Easy answer.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So I think Audrin goes, did I ask you to ask me that question?
I don't know, did you?
I don't think I did. I don't remember asking you to ask me that.
Yes, but when you made me, you put something in my chest, correct? That spark that means I am me. But what if subconsciously, that is the word, I'm just acting out your preferences, desires. Am I simply a piece of you? Is my will merely an extension of yours, or am I picking up flowers because I want to? He like sniffs it, or like you think he sniffs it, right? Like he can obviously tell that he's trying to.
There's so many ways I could play with this right now. I think I think Audrey goes, well, Serge, I don't think that it matters what I tell you. Because if you have the free will, then you get to decide if you believe me one way or the other, whatever I tell you. And two, if you don't have the free will, then it doesn't matter what you think, because you're just going to think whatever you're going to think. And you don't have a choice. It's just going to happen.
Yes, but how do we determine one from the other?
Do we determine one from the other?
I would like to. It seems
Why?
rather important.
Is it?
Okay, yeah, it's true. You can make a check to gaslight him, I guess. Yeah. the deep questions of the universe do not matter. Sure, yeah, you could do that. Nihilist surge is not a direction I thought this was going, but sure, yeah. Do you wanna, I mean, it sounds like you're trying to prod him in a particular direction.
I really okay. Here's the direction I'm trying to prod him towards. I'm trying to prod him to think more, to think for himself.
Right.
So I'm like, that's why I'm asking questions like, all right, well, does it? Like, I want him, if he can justify it, then justify it. Like, does it matter? Why does it matter?
Okay, what do we think, guys, as the crew here? As we do this fun little
about free will?
Well, no, like we like to play around like this with NPCs. Yeah. Like we did this with Miggy, right? Like where Ari was like training him with survival checks, and he would get levels and stuff, right? Like what's the role here that either Audrin or Serge is making to slowly gain a sense of personhood and to figure out who he is, and in theory get more charisma, I think is the main goal here.
I mean, it is, I think, just a persuasion check for Audrin that makes the most sense as a skill check.
Yeah, at least right now, that makes sense.
And then like maybe Serge gets smarter as he makes persuasion checks. But that might be tricky for him because he has low charisma.
Would it just be an intelligence check?
Well, it sounds like, so this is the thing, like I'm thinking about this in terms of like Burning Wheel style role, like intent stuff, like where it's like, what matters here is what Audrin's intent is, right? Yeah. What do you want to accomplish? And then from there we can figure out what's the best like mechanic to use to get across that intent. So your intention is to get him to think deeply about the questions for himself.
Yeah, my intention right now is for him to be able to think through the questions and try to arrive at a conclusion on his own without having to rely on me or anyone else necessarily to get input, to continue to get input, but also to be able to arrive at a conclusion himself. So I think Audrin also adds, you should also ask the same question to other people.
I think this sounds like a mix of persuasion checks and intelligence saves.
Yeah. I think we should have Jordan roll something to get across his intent, which is he wants Serge to ask these questions himself and not rely on Audrin to like just give him an input and just believe him point blank, right? But I think like a failure here would mean he just believes what you're actually saying and not what
Yeah.
you're trying to, right? Like he
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
the surface level of it and he just
Yeah.
becomes a nihilist. Or at least starts to lean that way.
Yeah.
So I think persuasion is good enough there. You're just trying to like lead him through with your charisma, lead him through that.
I think
process.
Audrin's ultimate goal for him is to be entirely self-sufficient.
Certainly.
Also
Okay.
to align some variation of good.
Of course.
His
Yes.
alignment
I
to
think
be-
this will probably determine alignment too, eventually for him as well. Yeah. Go ahead and I think right now he is probably like, well, you
neutral?
listed him as lawful good, but I think he is probably like true neutral, right? Like that's because he's just like a construct, right? I like the idea that we could like nudge him in a particular direction on the axes of alignment too.
Would he currently be lawful neutral because he's following Audrin though?
I think true neutral is fine. Like he can still be following Audrin because that's what he's supposed to do, and not like worry too much. Like if he turns lawful, it would be like, yes, order matters, right? Or free or independence matters. Like I'm curious as to like where he lands based on like we're doing the D&D character quiz right now with him, right? Like it's like if you answer this, what does it push you more chaotic? Are you a ranger, right? Like all that stuff, right?
So what do you want me to roll for him?
Let's make a persuasion check for now. I think that makes sense. You're just trying to lead him through the questions as you want. I was going to say 15 was probably going to be a good baseline for this, and you did not succeed. But you didn't like critically fail. I like if you had gotten like really bad, I probably would have going to have him like lean into being like a nihilist and just be like, oh yeah, the deep questions don't matter at all, right? But I think this means he's confused, right? And he doesn't make progress yet. He's just like what do you mean it doesn't matter? Like, oh, okay, I guess ask someone else. All right, that's fine. I guess I'll do that. And then he just is kind of confused, doesn't really know where to land. And we can pick up with another question from him to someone else probably next time. Right? We'll just keep going there. But for now, he's not made any progress on his quest for personhood and whatnot. All right, cool. Well, let's. Jared just messaged me back what he wanted from this. In one word, and it was hilarious.
I'm
yeah,
to know what it is.
So let's go back to that conversation with Vren real quick, and let's say that like
I would say if Ronan's showing him all his things, Vren might call over Audrin because he knows that he knows magic. Just like Audrin, come here, look at these.
Yeah,
Audrin.
we see Audrin leave Surge like puttering in his like kicking the dirt. Like I don't know.
I just realized Deli would have loved this. It's a bunch of little animal figures.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Audrin to come over and Ronan, I guess, starts explaining. He says, well, all right, fine. My theory is that if I put them all together, they'll make some sort of giant mega animal. And the thing that Jared messaged me was Megazord.
I was wondering if that's what you meant when you started saying that.
Yeah.
I think Vren just goes, that sounds incredible, and I must see it. Where are the rest of them?
Yeah.
It's like a mega sheep, a mega ram.
Well, no, the ram would be like his arm, right? And like,
right.
Like a homunculus, but
like a chimera made out of
chimera. That's the
different
word.
animals. Yeah, exactly, something like that. And he just starts to go off on one on his next lead, I think, but I don't really know what that is. But so we'll just like pass over it for now. Yeah, cool. All right, so cool.
Ren's probably not even thinking like this sounds like, he's probably just like, this sounds hilarious. I must see something that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Can I roll like an Arcana check with it, or
that's actually where I was going with
a history check?
I think we kind of know enough at this point. I mean, unless is there more we could learn here now?
What are you trying to learn specifically, Audrey?
I would like to learn with the same magical because I would assume that there's some sort of like magical combining, if that's the case. And that's kind of in line with some of the stuff that I was literally just working on.
Makes sense.
So Audrin would be like curious to see if he can suss out anything like that magically.
That's a great idea. Yeah, go ahead and Arcana check that.
Arcana.
Whoa!
One left from a crit.
And you're being helped by this, but with Vren and Ronan.
Yeah, that's
right. So you
So
certainly got
crit.
critical success there. Oh man, I don't know.
Like
obviously,
you didn't plan this section.
Do you have an idea, Jordan?
I mean, so it would be interesting if there was a way that they all kind of like a Transformer or like a Power Rangers Megazord kind of thing, or any of those mech animes, how individually they have some kind of power themselves, but then when you combine them together, it does this like you can temporarily combine them together to do some sort of super boost thing, and then like all the magics play off of each other and amplify each other. But there's like maybe there's some sort of magical sense to them where you can like see the puzzle pieces where everything fits together magically, and Audrey can maybe suss that out with the stuff that he's been working through and the magic essence thing that he.
Yeah,
no joke. That's quite literally what Vren was going to start doing. Was going to start looking at the figurines and see if they fit together somehow, like a puzzle.
Yeah, they definitely don't. But
I know, but they're like just trying to like.
I like the idea. I like the idea that like Audrey, the main thing that you got there with success, with that critical success is like that if you go along with this and like help, you're gonna learn a lot about what you want to do with magic, which is to like figure out like what makes a particular magic item customizable, right? And all that stuff. So this is going to be a huge boon for you if you go along with this project and help with it. Like you will definitely learn a lot about what you want to do with magic items. So as a note, the ones that still need to be gotten. So this is like a fun like side quest that's been added to your quest log, right? You must get. We hear the like doo thing come up as like all the different like objects you need to find pop up. You still need to find an ebony fly, golden lions, a marble elephant, an onyx dog, and I'm writing out these all in chat. So,
I'll put them in my
and
character sheet.
a serpentine owl must still be acquired. Let me double check this. Yeah, these don't require attunement, so they're not necessarily a thing that like he needs to.
I'm sorry. You say a serpentine owl, and my mind just goes, "I'm a snack. Woo! I'm a snack. Woo! I'm a snack." Woo!
Yep. Well, that's you hit it right on the head there, buddy. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Because right now he has the obsidian steed, which he uses as a mount, and then the silver raven, which you can. Okay, animal messenger is his main thing. The ivory goats, by the way, I'll let you guys in on what they actually do. 3 different goats. One is the goat of traveling. Can become a large goat that with the same statistics as a riding horse. Let's see. Yeah, okay. This just has charges and stuff that determine how you can summon it and stuff. The goat of travail, which is the second largest, is it becomes a giant goat for up to 3 hours. With just like a better fighter, right? And then the goat of terror becomes a giant goat for up to 3 hours. The goat can't attack, but you can remove its horns and use them as weapons. One horn becomes a +1 lance, and the other becomes a +2 longsword. Removing a horn requires an action, and the weapons disappear and the horns return when the goat reverts to its figurine form. In addition, the goat radiates a 30-foot radius aura of terror while you are riding it. Any creature hostile to you that starts its turn in the aura must succeed on a DC 15 wisdom saving throw or be frightened of the goat for 1 minute or until the goat reverts to his figurine form. And there's various other rules about how it can be summoned and how the fear aura affects things. Yep.
There's this particular fairy tale character that this reminds me of.
But yeah, most of these, it's like you can summon the animal that it looks like, right? And usually ride it. Some of them have special things, like obviously a griffin is cooler than a fly or whatever, right? And then like the goats have their special things as I described there, and then the obsidian seed is like a nightmare is that you summon, not just a regular horse. But yeah. So yeah, I guess like Ronan probably even says like, as long as we're careful with these and don't don't lose them, I suppose we could probably use them for the assault if you have some sort of use you want to put them to.
The goat actually, no joke. The big scary goat sounds helpful.
Mm-hmm. Goat of Terror.
As silly as it is, it would have been very helpful when we were surrounded. Who would ride the
We're
goat?
gonna have them beg for mercy.
Well,
Come on.
you're
Sean,
certainly not
really?
going to be able to use these in the dungeon very well. But yeah.
Wait, which assault was he talking about then?
What I mean is like you as the players, like you can't. It's not going to be as very helpful to you riding down into the bowels of the dungeon where it's going to get smaller and smaller, and there's going to be obstacles and things. But in a general, like let go and like just fight random stuff on the first floor, like that's going to be useful to people. I just mean like you're probably not going to be able to ride the goats through the whole dungeon.
Not with that attitude.
Well,
I
yeah,
can
now-
imagine Takui riding on the scary goat and just going all barbarian.
Mhm.
Although she wants to be hitting people, so she doesn't want them to run away.
that is.
I
kind
will
of-
just hit them as the goat rides in. I'll just be smacking people along, as I'm going through. Just
the
like
goat can
this.
go pretty fast, I think.
Actually, just give it to Anna. If Anna was strong enough to carry the goat, she could just bolt through. Speed run.
Yeah, to give her gauntlets of ogre strength and the goat, and then there you go. That's what your plan. And speaking of plans, I think that's the thing we need to figure out now. Is like, what is your actual assault plan? Do you want to go to the lizard folk camp? Because there's also the troglodytes that you sent there. That you could
Friggin' troglodytes.
touch base with. Whatever you would like to do. Feel free. As it stands right now, like the allies, you have like some elementals that Git has managed to scrounge up. You have Git himself. You have Lethera, the fallen angel who was apparently responsible for the Alidron in the first place and failed. They're all in the camp right now, right?
Was that the really indifferent one that was just sitting up the...
Mm-hmm, yep.
Okay.
And then you have the Phanatons, right? Who are also here and ready to help.
Which were the ones that had this cool like magic item that Anna wanted to take?
The troglodytes.
The troglodytes, yeah.
Which were the Phanatons in again?
The
He
Phanatons
said
are the
he
little
lost it though.
squirrel
Didn't he say
monkey
he
things.
Lost a magic item.
Oh right. Oh wait, did he say he lost it? I don't remember.
I thought he did. Because I thought
no,
he
I
said
think-
he didn't have it anymore.
Oh, I don't remember.
I'd have to check my notes.
Pretty sure
I don't know.
it's not there. Or
I'm
else
Yeah,
pretty sure-
no.
I'm pretty
would've
sure I
pushed
remember making a
harder.
comment like, "Really? After all that, he doesn't even
Yeah,
have
no,
it."
that makes sense. They because they wouldn't have kept it up there. There's probably like a treasure vault or something in the dungeon that they threw it in. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh no, we forgot to go back to the troglodytes after this whole thing is over. Oh no, all the troglodytes are dead. We can't give them their weapon back. What shall we do?
We tipped off the demons as to where the camp was. Wow, what a
Wow,
surprise.
Takei's charisma so high for deception on that.
I think if anything, plan wise, we should definitely talk to them about helping, because the thing is, if they don't, I mean, if we fail, they're just gonna get killed by the things anyway. So it's like,
Yeah.
help us and potentially not get killed because of it.
Okay, so real talk with that. It's a spear, right?
Just tried it.
Staff.
Staff. Okay.
Oh.
Yep. That's
So
why
what-
Anna wanted it so bad.
Right.
There was like another staff or something that we had, or maybe it was the spear. I wanted to like combine, like my whole obsession with the combining powers and stuff was like I wanted to take the magic and one of the magic items, like one of the staves or lances or something, and put it in the other one, so we'd have one super powered up magic item. And then we lost the other one, and then we let them have the the same time we lost Delhi.
Yeah. I mean, Deli also had she had a trident, and that's gone now. We lost so many things. That stupid friggin' wizard.
Yep.
But you know what? It's better than the violent rampage Deli would have gone on if she'd succeeded. One more hit. She just needed one more hit.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, what is the plan, guys? What do you have any particular direction? Like, because Git can just tell them what to do, but I'm just curious if you have any other particular directions for him. If you have, if you'd like to go talk to the lizard folk and the troglodytes, what do you want to do?
I definitely think we do want to go talk to the lizard folk and troglodytes. I don't know, at least I do, but how everybody else feels. But
Ren would as well, because seriously, if they don't help us, they're just putting themselves in danger potentially, because these things are not friendly, so they're gonna just attack them one way or another. Might as well get a head start.
yeah, might as well give everybody a fighting chance.
Yep.
Exactly.
Makes sense to me. Do you have anything in particular you want to say to them? Because we can also, I mean, it sounded like Igiacolo, at least the leader of them, would be probably pretty gung-ho about, like, okay, you have a big army here with like elementals and stuff. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we'll take the fight to them, and maybe we'll save Nolan, right? Like, he's probably still alive. He's a prisoner, right? Like, let's go save him. Yeah. I don't know if we need to play out the conversation that much if you didn't have anything particular to say to him.
I fight and you may die. Run and you'll live at least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day for one chance? Just one chance, one shot, one opportunity. It comes once in a lifetime, yo.
We got some spaghetti too.
You better lose yourself.
I started with the William Wallace speech.
I know.
Part, and then transitioned into Eminem.
I was waiting for, like, they cannot take our freedom, and then you would somewhere completely different.
I had no plan. I just started reading the words, and then I started tripping up, and I'm like, well.
And then we see all the lizard folk go, yeah. Very confused.
But
Are
yeah,
you telling?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I told that to
ladies
the
first.
troglodytes.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm down to just like roll like a general persuasion check and see how well it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Igiacolo is certainly on board, but yeah, it makes sense to like make a check just to see how well. Yeah.
Oh wait, who is the highest charisma again?
I believe Takwe has the highest persuasion.
I got plus 10.
I have I have a +8. You have a
Is it
better
me?
persuasion than I do. Yeah.
Well, it is Seth, I suppose. That makes sense.
I do like playing charisma characters.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I like the idea that Serge becomes the most charismatic person among all of us.
By the end of it, yeah, he's the most refined. Yeah.
So, plus 10 with advantage then?
Yeah, we can assume that Takwe's also saying things.
Yeah. So.
Well, good thing you didn't have a disadvantage. Yeah, 18 is certainly good enough. I like to get all the lizard folk on board. The troglodytes don't really have a lot going for them right now, and they don't have their magic staff thing. So I think he's gonna just be like, "Yeah, we're gonna stay here, I guess." Thanks, guys.
Cowards here, like we always do.
They really don't have a whole lot going for them. Most of them are just like regular, like CR half troglodytes. So
that is fair. They would get killed by
who were like emaciated and deathly sick for months before this point.
Also true.
So yeah.
I'm also had like over half their loved ones killed by someone, not me.
No, definitely not you. No. Could never. All right, cool. Are you telling Git to storm the front gate? What's the plan here?
Yeah, that's a good question. Or I feel like is our plan that they're going to storm the front gate and we're going to try to go the other way that we didn't go through, right? Like draw them out to that front gate, and then we try to go in the one.
So you guys know that there are, of two entrances. One is the back way, like, which is on the island, which is like the stone gates that you made a window in and like broke through and like went in that way, right? And then there is the ocean entrance, which is basically like a docks and then some stairs up into like a open entryway into the temple proper. You don't know, like, you know that there's like Dinosuchus, like a big crocodile thing in the water. Before that point, you don't know. I think it was described at one point by either like the ghost or the elementals in that village that there was also like a water demon of some sort that lives in the waters near the dock. So you know that there are dangers that way that you have not dealt with. So again, you have Lothira, who's like a powerful angel, and like the elementals who could probably deal with that stuff. But that's something that you would be sending them against, and who knows what's going to happen there without you guys to tip the scale in their favor.
I have Charm Monster.
Yeah, I suppose you could just like go with them, but like, and that's the other question is like, if like, I think it does make sense to, because I think the plan before was deploy, distract, destroy was what Jordan said.
Yes.
So I think the idea would be they're distracting them in the front end, like the ocean entrance is probably the best bet, honestly, and then you guys go in that window way, because there were stairs down to the second floor, literally right there, that you didn't go down right away, so you could just go in that way. If you're assuming that there's something second floor or third floor.
We're just more familiar with that side, so it makes more sense that if we're gonna go in somewhere, that it would be that way. But yeah, I don't necessarily want them to
certainly not
to fight all those people in the
yeah, but it's also not a good entrance probably for a big army to. Well,
right.
Probably neither of them are really.
I feel like the idea is that you're trying to draw them out, right? That's the idea.
I have.
Yeah, up to you guys.
How does Ren's teleportation work? Can Ren teleport others and not himself?
What do you mean? I can only teleport up to 6 willing creatures.
Okay, but and they have to
creatures.
They have to be willing.
Yes.
Never mind.
What are you wanting me to do?
I was just thinking that it would be interesting if we took one of the big scary monsters that we haven't dealt with and just teleported them to the island.
Doesn't work that way.
Like on the other side of the island.
I mean, if I cast Charm Monster and then teleport, I could do that. But that's also my only 7th level spell slot.
I've already used it today, so.
Well, if we're waiting for tomorrow. Also,
there's the question of where you want Ronan and them as well. You could have them fight with the main group, or you could have them come with you. I'm assuming that Benedict and Surge are coming with you guys, but it would be easier for me if I could just shuffle them off into the corner and have them do things up with the other NPCs.
Personally, I think it would make sense for them to go if there's like these big monsters. I would want to send them with them so that way that
makes sense. Ronan would be a good person to handle something like that. He has a lot of really powerful magic at his disposal that he could just dump on big monsters like that.
And I think, as we learned, right, probably the less people going in, the better. Maybe
that makes sense. Yep.
So that's just my opinion, but you guys can also.
That feels like a strong play, mainly because it like there are 4 high-level adventurers that could tip the scales of that battle in your guys' favor. And then you guys, it makes sense to have less people trying to sneak in the other way. You could even have Surge or Benedict also join them, right? Like if you guys want to go real small here.
No, we're taking our cleric with us. Thank you very much.
Darn, almost got you.
Sorry, I'm just really stuck on this monster idea right now.
Yeah,
I'm trying so hard to figure out the one monster of the lake that whenever we were trying to do the horde mode defending thing, that wasn't near this area. Is that correct?
So that one, like the big crocodile, is just lives in the lake and goes everywhere. So eventually, if you guys have a fight. Like, if you guys attack the ocean entrance, it's going to show up at some point.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about trying to get that guy to show up.
No, he'll show up. It's just whether or not he'll be on your side.
Well, we don't need it to be on our side. We just need it to not be on their side.
I think the assumption is, by default, he's on their side. Because of... Like, if he's lived in the lake that long, they probably have given it food and stuff over a long enough period of time. Like, it ate that one random demon because it was... But like in general, I think that they have either magic. Like it wouldn't be a wrong assumption given the proximity of it to this demon temple, that if they really needed to, they can make sure that that thing was on their side and not someone else's.
Okay.
Oh, so
But you could fight over it. Like you could try to dominate monster it, and right, like that could definitely be a thing.
I don't know if charm monsters, how the difference between charm monster and dominant monster are.
What's the closest other vile monster creature to this?
What do you mean?
Are there any others that like are near? Nah, never mind.
I don't think you know of any. Yeah, I mean,
Basically,
it's easy enough for me to abstract how the actual battle goes when you guys aren't there. We can always just see it in retrospect and then figure out how it went based on various different factors. I just want to make sure I know any particular directions you're giving that group, so I know how to play that out. But I mean, yeah, them attacking the ocean side, because they also don't necessarily need to like. They don't need to necessarily fight their way in and get to you guys. They just need to eventually kill them all, right? Or run them off, right? They can use different tactics. They can be smarter and more defensive about things.
So is our plan to be that our group is going to be super sneaky and stealthy, or attempt to be, or are we just going in guns a-blazing and hoping everything else gets distracted?
I think what we could probably do is try to be sneaky, and if that doesn't work, just guns ablazing.
Typically, what happens with this dungeon with this player group, but also just the characters as well, is you end up being faster, and that's the thing that gets you. You just run instead of sneak.
That's true. Actually, that's very true.
Who needs to be stealthy when you can just go through people with a force field from a beam and roll them over?
Okay, that happened
right? You know?
one time.
And it worked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, we just send Anna in. She just goes and then we problem solved.
And honestly, I can also just from Git's perspective, I can just ask Josh Lang, hey, what would get come up with a strategy for me here? Like, here's what you're up against. What do you think it would tell people to do? Because Josh Lang is smart about that sort of thing too. If you want to leave it up to him.
Probably not now.
If I was going to leave anything up to Josh, it would be Josh.
Well, I just mean
wait, what did I just say?
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
Let Josh live his
It would be
own
this.
life, man.
If I was going to leave something like tactics up to anybody, it would be Josh.
Yeah,
That's the phrase I'm looking
pretty
for.
sure I knew that's what you meant, but
that being said, I'm pretty sure he's kind of busy right now.
That's true. That's true. But who knows? We're gonna play this next. Definitely not next week, right?
Wait, we're not doing next week?
I don't think so. Wasn't it next
I think
week?
we are.
We are doing it next week.
I thought
we were
these
like 3
last
weeks in a
weeks,
row.
I thought it was
No, because remember,
was-
next week it was going to be the week I was going to be gone, but it turned
Right.
out that I'm okay.
Yes, I remember now.
Yay.
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, that gives me less time to make those maps, but that's fine. I was planning on doing it tonight anyway.
Well, there you go.
Cool. Yeah. So I guess the question basically is just what are the big level things that you need to make sure that you guys want to be set in stone right now about how this is going. You want them to go oceanfront?
Yeah, I think ocean.
And then you guys go in the back?
Most sense.
I think it makes the most sense, but we should definitely, if we can, get info from Josh.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
Idea.
And again, like
Wait.
a lot of this can be abstracted, so it would just be like I would double check what the capabilities of the monsters that they're going to be fighting against are, and just make sure that like there aren't any particular tricks that would make it really difficult for them, and then kind of I'm not going to play out this battle unless it would be really fun. Have Josh Lang on to do like just me and him do a D&D combat, but yeah, he's probably not going to be free by the time.
Yeah.
But hey, to be honest, we don't really need to know what happened there until it matters. Where you guys could be down in the dungeon for sessions before we actually know what happened up there. So
I mean, to be
we'll
fair
see.
though, you never know if he could do something that ends up changing things drastically at the same time.
yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
Oh, another thing that I remember I wanted to bring up is Git also we've moved past this thread for a while now, but Git would remind all of you that like one of his purposes for coming here is that there is some sort of magical device somewhere in this temple that he is sure will help him solve the secret of the Isle of Dread, and figure out what's up with the weird magical fog and break the hold of the demons here forever. Basically, is the idea. So he wants to be there for that, and so I'm assuming that at some point, if things go well up above, he'll show up at some point. But again, we can play out the dungeon and just see how things feel, and I can have them show up at a appropriately dramatic moment, right? Either bedraggled and like, oh, everyone else is dead, or you know, we did it, we won the day, right?
Okay, so this is. I'm gonna draw a whole bunch here so I understand. This is where we're doing this, right? This is
yeah. Here, let me bring you to the island map again,
that'd be great.
particularly.
Thank you. Okay, so for them to attack from the front would be for them to attack over here.
Yep.
Okay, so if they attacked on this side somewhere, theoretically,
which you didn't pick
just
anything.
No, I'm picking the complete opposite side of the island.
Oh,
like if they came around,
okay, yeah,
and came from the other side, then all of their theoretically, all their forces would start to come this way. Is that correct? To assume.
I mean, so as far as you guys know, this whole island is crawling with skinwalkers. So they would probably have to fight through a bunch of skinwalker camps. Like this is, you know, I think I figured out the dimensions on this. Yeah, I mean, this is like
half a mile.
Yeah,
those are my. Oh no, that's okay.
It's like half a mile across. And it's all jungle, right? They could get into a guerrilla war in the jungle here, but it sounds more effective to just strategically attack the temple itself.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there was like a way to lure everyone out of the temple, but if there's other people.
To be fair, you could have them go in the same way as you guys are. Have them start a fight there, and like pour in, go towards because from your guys' memory of the dungeon, there were like several rooms before you got to that like main room with the other one. The issue is just like a chokehold situation. Like there's going to be a lot more room for them to play with if they attack from the ocean front. They could go in the other way and then do a fight room by room and figure out, you know, like get caught in a hallway and then have like a shootout for a while and just if their whole goal is just distraction, then that's fine, right? You can do it that way. If you don't care that much. But if you want to act, I guess that's part of the question here. What is your goal? Of like, if you guys strategically go and fight this call of the two-headed, this aspect of Demogorgon that apparently is ruling the place, you, in theory, could break their will to fight, right? Like you could go for the head of the snake, but it's not a guarantee, right? Like they're not going to automatically run away necessarily just because you killed that one guy. A lot of it depends on like how much you want to risk. These are your allies you're talking about, right? What are they actually attempting to accomplish? Are they purely distraction, just keep them busy, or are they actually supposed to kill them eventually? These are questions.
Yeah. Probably best case scenario is that they enter in from whatever the safest point is for them to get in, and like storm into the temple. And they just make their way through the temple as if they're doing the dungeon crawl. And we just let them do it. No, I'm just kidding. And then we go in at a different entrance and we try to meet with them. After we've gone through and like we're going in a different way and trying to sneak around and get the stuff and trying to be quick and sneaky and stuff about all of that. Get what we need to get done in there and then reconvene with the raiding party.
Yeah, here's another question. I don't know if you guys have the magic to get across like a whole army of Thanatons and Lizardfolk.
Yeah.
What if we do this? What if we split up a little bit more? Let's have the big elemental and adventurer types, right? So Git, his elemental buddies, Lethera, the Ronin and the buds, all go over water to the the ocean entrance, fight the demon and stuff there, like take a lot of the they're gonna have a lot of the biggest bangs for your bucks anyway, in terms of firepower. So deal with like the big threats there, adventurer style, right? And then have while the Dinosuchus, the big crocodile thing, is being distracted or maybe charmed by someone, and either way, just generally taken care of somehow. The Phanatons and the Lizardfolk come across by boat and storm the island and take care of the Skinwalkers in the jungle, right? So we have like a guerrilla war happening in the jungle there, by the humanoid army that you have. And then you guys can go probably via magic, go straight to the, or fly over or whatever. Go straight to that back entrance and then go through, do a surgical strike down to the most important stuff, which is like Kala and the Shadow Pearl operation. Does that seem like a good plan?
I don't have any objections off the top of my head.
Because, I mean, otherwise there is a whole island full of skinwalkers that technically does also need to be taken care of at some point here.
Yeah, but that's kind of like...
But like, once again, if we conquer this temple and get the thing that Git thinks he can fix everything, then the skinwalkers just go away anyway, right?
And then...
I mean, they'll run away maybe, but then, they won't like disappear.
And then we do what Idaho's been doing right now and just burn everything. And it's just, they have nowhere to hide if the whole island catches on fire. I'm half joking.
Yeah. Up to you guys. You are, as players, you have the final decision on any of these tactics. Even if necessarily your characters wouldn't.
I would like to point out that I could cast water breathing up to 10 willing creatures.
How long does it last?
24 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So then we could literally, we'd have to like go through the water.
That would be a little sneakier, but none of us really have a swim speed that I can remember.
Well, it also would be not great if there were things lurking in the water.
That's actually even more true. More reason to fly.
Does anyone have Charm Monster?
I do.
Vren,
so I mentioned it.
Would Vren cast that on the Dinosuchus? Is that the first step of this plan?
He would totally love to do that. There's no guarantee it would work.
Yeah, but
you know what?
Question, but we're not even going through that entrance though, so we're not.
Yeah, but like there are people who need to get across the water either way, and having it on your side at the very least. Like honestly, I think your best bet here, Vren, is cast Charm Monster and then have the dinosaur just not do anything. Right, just have him go stay in the water.
Only last
far away.
An hour though.
Wait.
Or just have him go in one direction as far as you can. Right.
Wait. Why don't we have him taxi us over?
You can do that.
And then as soon as we're over there, then we have him go off in the opposite direction.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, Charm Monster, like, there's a chance that they get him back under their control during that if you just send him into that battle. But like an hour is probably all you'll need to just like do what you need to do here, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where we start, right?
The one problem with this is it does have a range of 30 feet. So I have to get pretty close to this thing.
Do you have invisibility that we can cast on him?
It'd have to be greater invisibility because as soon as I cast a spell, it would drop.
Yeah, but if you yeah.
If it fails, problem.
Wait,
why does it have to be greater invisibility?
Because if it's just invisibility, as soon as I cast a spell, the invisibility drops.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I could cast invisibility.
Yes, but as soon as I cast a spell, no, it's not. It's as soon as I do an action after cast. If
can't you cast invisibility on more than one person?
Yes,
Audrin. So no. Audrin's saying he casts it, And then it doesn't. Does it drop on you even if
It drops
Aldrin's
on
the
me
one?
if
Okay.
I'm invisible and I
Alright.
cast a spell or attack.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
As soon as I do anything outside of movement, I drop the invisibility.
I honestly don't think it's that big of a risk. Like it's gonna maybe get one possible attack on you. It's not that big of like in terms of like adventuring hit points. Like it's not gonna take your whole hit points down. Like, you're gonna be fine, I think. Even if he gets one hit on you. According to the narrative rules of the world, it shouldn't be an easy decision here. But I think according to the D&D mechanics, it is.
Here's the other thing. Here's the thing though. I should definitely, if anything, not be alone when I'm doing this to make sure I don't just straight up die.
Yes, I think Audrin is a good person to come with you, and he's cast invisibility. And
another question then. So how far away is the island from?
I don't know exactly.
Because here's the thing. We could do it as we're all coming together. I cast the charm monster. If it fails, we have the same problem anyway. But if it succeeds, we're just ready, and I can send the monster away, and we have a full hour to essentially do whatever we need.
I would say another half mile that you have to cross of water.
And how long would it take? So
its swim speed is...
would we know this?
You can guess. Let me take a look. Yeah, I think you probably have a reasonable guess that its swim speed is 60 feet, which it is. So
For a second.
Yeah, so however you want
Whoa,
to calculate
he's
that.
faster than me. That's
He's swimming, yeah.
He
crazy.
can. Okay, that is potentially a problem. He can cross that in a minute.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, but it means that if the fight happens, he can get back in like 8 rounds.
You just have him go out of the water and just keep walking, right?
Oh, it can do that?
Yeah, it's just a crocodile.
Oh, right. I was thinking more fishy.
No, it's not fish. It's a crocodile. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, this I think it is probably a decent idea to try and charm it and have it ferry people across.
Mm-hmm. That's not a bad idea. I think that's the first step of this plan. Let's do this. Let's from now on. Let's keep going Blades in the Dark style and just not worry about the plan and just do the next step of the plan. And then if we come up with something that we needed to figure out in flashback, let's just do that. Vren, let's have you. I think first thing we need to do is someone needs to make a check to find the crocodile, right? Like to go search it out in the
would
lake.
Probably be Jordan.
Makes sense.
Probably be Audrin.
Yeah.
Unless other
Audrin,
people
investigation
wanna come.
check. Go for it, Audrin. 22 thinks good enough. Vren, do you have investigation
No, I
trained?
don't.
No, okay. Yeah, I think a 22 is fine. It just takes maybe a little bit longer than you hoped originally. But you certainly find the Dinosuchus, and it's like trying to eat something, so it's like distracted slightly and out of the water and whatnot. So you're maybe it's like trying to eat a dinosaur on the shore, right?
It probably makes sense that Audrin is kind of with me. Actually, how fast can you go flying?
Just as
Audrin?
normal movement, like 30 feet.
Because I can do 60 feet. Would it be better to have you just kind of like hanging onto my broom, just so we don't get lost? Because
I mean, that's easy enough to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it would. We could do that. I'm fine with that. I was just gonna say that it's my movement. So if I'm dashing, then it's 60
That's true.
feet anyway.
And he has rogue levels, so
Have you just hold on. You follow me, kind of flying, so we don't get lost. Brent's probably a little uncomfortable with this because he's not like melee. He says,
Mhm.
Audrin, if this doesn't work, we are going to have words. And
Alright.
Vren,
we'll
if
try
this doesn't work, we won't be able to have words anymore. We'll be dead.
Fair enough. Okay, and Vren will cast Charm Monster. I'll just put this in the chat.
Yeah, it
He
just has to make a save, right?
A Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save. Okay.
And it's not fighting us, so it doesn't have advantage.
So I'm going to technically the stat block that I'm using is like a dragon, but it's not as intelligent as a dragon. So I'm
Well, this is
changing some of
wisdom,
these here.
but yeah.
I'm just gonna roll its wisdom. It has this trained normally, but I'm just gonna roll its regular wisdom.
Has to beat a 20. Oh, it
There
worked!
you go. There you go.
It stops hitting like Vren lets out a sigh of relief, like, oh, thank goodness. We'll fly down to the I guess they don't really need to have animal handling if it's charmed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll fly down to the what's it called? Could you put this in the chat? What it's called? Because you keep saying the word, but I don't know how to say it because I don't know. How to
yeah, sure. You can just call it a crocodile, but it's like a dinosaur crocodile. Basically, it's like the large one.
Deinonychus.
I think. Yeah, I don't know how it actually be pronounced, but
Deinonychus.
Dinosuchus.
Dinosuchus. Okay, so we'll fly down to the Deinonychus, and in a minute we'll be back at the shore. Ren will say, like, confidently, but like really just like sweat dripping down his back. Anybody order a crocodile?
Dinosuchus.
You're wrong, Seth.
But
it's Dinosuchus. That's like
it looks like Deinonychus.
Yeah, it's Yeah. I knew that was not correct, but
Vren's gonna call it a crocodile.
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I just wanted to be right. Cool. So, you charmed the crocodile, and you have it available to you to ferry people across. I think like you'll have to do this quickly, and try to do it in such a way that like you still won't be noticed. Because I mean, like have like scouts and stuff. Is there anything anyone's doing to help that process, or are you just taking your chances?
Do we have anything we can do?
I don't know. Like, are we having? Is it just basically ferrying the army across, like the Phanatons and the lizard folk and stuff?
How big is this thing?
Very large.
So could all of them fit on?
Probably not. No, it's huge. So I mean, certainly several could, but not the whole thing at once. Probably the best way to do this is we can say that like they're attacking the front entrance right around now, and then while that's initial battle is starting, then they start ferrying people across. Because then there's already a distraction. Beginning.
We'll bring in reinforcements.
Yeah, but then in the meantime, you guys are sneaking across the island yourselves to go to the back door, basically, right?
Well, the back window.
Yeah, the back window.
It wasn't until like a few minutes after
the rear window. I realized,
we literally put a window in the
You did. Yeah.
Guys, I just rediscovered a spell that I have.
What?
And I just feel like I should share this.
What? Oh.
Rope trick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Basically, like, hey, we need to hide from the guys that are running towards us. Let's just go up into this little box right quick and doop-a-doop-a-doo hanging out here, and they can't see us. And oh, they're gone. Let's go out and let's continue to explore.
Honestly, yeah, that would have. I don't know if it would have.
It probably would have come in handy by now if we'd thought about it.
How long have you had that?
Still might be able to use it.
I've had it for a while.
I can't think of a situation that would have been extremely necessary.
Well,
we've also just survived, so.
All right. Let me drag you guys to the entrance again. Oh, poor Sprocket. His corpse is still there.
I thought the corpse was turned into Surge.
No, Audrin literally left Sprocket there.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So he probably recovered him when you guys left, but or no, because you teleported out. Yeah, Sprocket's still here. You walk in and so we get a moment where we're like hearing the distant sounds of combat, and then you guys all kind of pile in through the window, right? And yeah, the Sprocket's body is just like lying there, and we see Surge Surge like walks over and like leans down. Is anyone near him while he does this?
Audrina is obviously.
Yeah.
That's your older brother. Don't be like him or you'll be his fate.
I mean, Audrin does go over and say, so you've met your older brother.
Yeah, he says, I'm feeling something. I think. Are these emotions, or is this merely part of the way I was made, programmed? A facsimile of your soul, perhaps?
I think at this point, Vren would say, if you don't mind, we're kind of in a rush. Time for existential dread later.
Yes, of course. He shakes his head. But if you'd like
I
to
say
take a
that
moment
like
here, Audrey, you
jokingly,
can.
but at the same time, Vren's like really like,
Yeah, no,
we
for
need
sure.
we need to go.
Yeah, no. I think Audrin shares a similar sentiment as Vren, and something like, we'll talk about the existential dread stuff later, but hold on to that. Remember the feeling that you felt here. We're gonna dissect that later.
Very good. Hold on to the existential dread. I'll keep it right here in my chest.
Most of us do.
Sounds good. Where do you guys go?
Not gonna lie, I didn't think we'd be getting this far tonight.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We usually have you two up front, and then who do we have next?
I just wrote down, enter through the back entrance. Surge sees Sprocket's body and has feelings.
Just for a moment, I'm trying to make sure I pick spells before things get really going.
Yeah.
I need a vote on 2 out of 3. Blink, Dispel Magic, Haste.
Wait, this is the next day,
Gotta
right?
have haste.
I
I
would
feel
say,
like Dispel
well, yeah.
Magic could be.
Hold on. I guess that is the other question. Did we long rest, or are we just like going right
Yeah, you long rest.
Okay, good. So
Okay,
yeah,
just want to make
you're fine.
sure because I didn't reset my stuff, so I just sure.
I had 0 HP on my character sheet, so I just kind of assumed we
Yeah.
would long rest and not have
That's
me
what I figured, but I just
unconscious.
wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
so it's the next day, whatever that is.
Okay. We ride at dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So Haste, Dispel Magic, Blink. Those are the.
What does Blink do again?
I'll do this. Boop.
You can go to a different plane sometimes.
Oh, you can kind of blink into the ethereal plane. Yeah, okay. That's
But
kind of
it's a
cool.
roll.
Still cool. Yeah, Dispel Magic and what was the other one?
Dispel Magic and Haste.
I feel like haste is a
Haste
pretty
is
great
fun, but
one to
Dispel
have.
Dispel Magic.
Yeah.
You don't have that without you having it. Is the one problem.
I believe that is
Yeah.
the case. Yeah,
I don't have it.
I'll check
Yeah.
Benedict,
If we
but I don't think he does.
It's
we
also
run
a
into
good way
anything-
to keep your because it's a reaction spell, so it's a good way to
Well, no,
use that.
Dispel Magic.
Counter spell is not Dispel Magic.
Oh,
Yeah.
never
Mhm.
mind. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I wish that I.
Benedict could have prepared Dispel Magic. We could do that instead.
Okay, yeah. As long as someone has it, because that might be very relevant. We don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like at
which-
least
You could take Fun Spell of Blink.
Is it only you though? It's only you is the one problem.
It'll be kind of cool for Audrin, but I don't know. My vote is haste.
another
Haste
option
you
would
can
be
cast on Anna.
Vortex Warp.
Wait, what's that do?
That's the one that let me teleport people around.
Hmm.
A little more situational, but could be useful.
And last one worth noting is Enlarge Reduce.
I feel like that's never as useful as you want it to be.
I mean, I feel like a bonus to damage on Takewee would be kind of amazing.
Isn't it like only 2 damage though?
You know what we should do?
Or am I thinking of the Pathfinder version?
Real quick, we should end here because
Yeah.
I think because I forgot something I was going to do. I want to let you guys level up.
Oh,
So we should decide, because then you can decide spells. You can decide, like, you can figure out your exact loadout. I'll level up the
leveling
NPCs and
up?
stuff. Yes, we're gonna level
Right
up.
now?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and we'll call the session here. You guys are, you storm in. We get that little bit with Surge, right? Like, and then we see you rush forward into the dungeon, and we can pick up next time. But we'll do an after show and do some leveling up, shall we? All right, there we go. This has been Terra Invicta. A little bit of a shorter session today, but we'll be back next week. I guess that's what we're doing. Going into the dungeon here. I'm excited. All right. See you.
Bye-bye.